implications and stuff. You could play in the playoffs. You're still trying to keep the momentum going. How do you maintain? How do you help your club to maintain their consciousness and just trying to keep the focus on the game ahead?
It's funny, Jim. I don't even know if we've even mentioned anything. We kind of just, I don't know. It's interesting. This team's been great that way. Like we had shoot around the day. I don't think I heard anybody mention that this is, they just kind of get ready for the game, and I'm sure they know that this could be a potential opponent. Both teams know that, and sometimes subconsciously, I think the players play that way during the game. The coaches sometimes don't, and then you will see it on the floor. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're ready to play, but I think that'll be a wait and see.
Having blinders on, is that one of the strong points of your club?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. They just want to prove every night that they're a good team, and I think that's been the most enjoyable part for me.
Will Pat play today?
No.
Is he just did he re-aggravate the injury last game?
No, we're just giving him some rest.
And then when you go to a game like this against a potential playoff, is there any sort of you don't sort of show all your cards, or just get the win no matter what?
Yeah, you get to win, or you just play. I don't think there's any cards left, by anybody for the most part. What usually happens in game one, each team brings out their new play. And then after like the third time, the play, and then you just go back to what you're doing before that play, but no one's going to change. It's hard to be a different team once the playoffs start than what you were all year. The league is scouted better or over-scouted more than any league because we have every game's on TV. We get to see every game. Scouts are everywhere. So, no, you just go play.
Doug, it's been so long since you played this team, and at that time, I think the defense in Houston was a real problem.
Yeah.
In the last couple of months, what have you seen from them defensively?
They're better. I mean, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league right now. I think that's the one thing people don't realize about them. You get lost in their offense. I think if you ask people about Houston that didn't watch Houston a lot, you would say two things that are completely wrong. One, man, they play fast. No, they're one of the slowest paced teams in the NBA. And two, man, they're an awful defensive team. No, the last 20 games are the second best defensive team in the league. So they're scoring, and they're defending, and they're not playing at a high pace. And so you have to actually get your team ready for that. Like, you don't want to get caught in their pace. You want to make sure you continue to play at your pace. And then defensively, I just think, first of all, they're healthier. They've had so many injuries early. I think that's what made them a better defensive team.
And then go back, you said
And Bisdelli joined them, mid-year. He was their defensive guy the year before. I don't think that's a coincidence either, that right when he showed up, they improved.
You said in the run-up to the playoffs that you want to get some of the younger guys, Tom, like Jerome and Ty, but then you also want to have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Is that a tricky balance?
No, I will always side on just playing our the guys we're playing. And if one of those guys breaks in, they break in. But I'm not going to do it so it's not a hard balance at all.
With this being a potential playoff matchup, do you anticipate playoff potential tonight?
I hope so. But you never know. You just don't. I think being in these situations a lot, from a coaching standpoint, you just don't know how either team's going to come out to play. And I can guarantee you the only two guys that really don't know are Mike and I. We think we know. We think that they're ready. I do. But you don't know. I've had games where I knew our guys were ready, and then they've decided internally, let's not, for whatever reason, I don't know why. It's not like we don't know who you are, or they know who we are, but it happens.
Doug, going back a couple of off seasons now, when Chris decided to leave, I was kind of wondering, given what he meant to your team at the time, how that maybe changed the way you guys had to think, the way you guys kind of operated, that maybe helped you guys get to the position you are now.
Well, he was important to our team. I mean, he's important to the whole franchise. And so you lose a player like that, you have to evaluate who you are, where you want to go, what you want to be. But that's any guy that leaves a team, any one of the star guys. There's only, 40 of them in the league probably, and that's probably not 40. But he's one of them. So when a guy like that leaves, you definitely have to evaluate where you want to go. And, you know, obviously where we're at, it's a pretty good place. So we've made a pretty good adjustment.
How do you define survival? I'm not gonna use the word success. Survival against Harden.
That's a good way. You know, I think when you after the game, you want to say he worked hard. You know, because I swear watching him, there's nights like he got the easiest 50 I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever said that about a guy, but he makes it look like that some nights. So when you play him, and I've had this philosophy, not just this year, last year, the year before, where we've had success against him, he's got to leave the game exhausted, you know, and that means on both ends. But if you don't do that, he's gonna make it a long night for you.
You guys put shame on me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Would you like to know that lesson?
I don't know if we did like that, to be honest. But you know, it's funny. Like one guy's not gonna guard that guy. You know, it's just there's not one guy that has the energy. That's the other thing I don't think he gets credit for. You know, having a son on their team now, you know, and being able to ask them questions that he'll actually answer. The one is work ethic. You know, Aston Austin was the one thing that stands out with Harden. He said he doesn't get any credit for how hard he works. He said he's amazed at his conditioning. Think about it, every night we're sitting in there for 2 days trying to come up with a game plan. He walks out on the floor and deals with it every night, and he plays 35, 40 minutes, and he's fresh. You know, so I don't think he gets enough credit for his endurance. Jordan was that way. Like you always felt with Michael, like, and no, we're trapping him and making him, and he's not breathing hard. You know, you never felt like he was tired, and that's how you feel with James a lot watching him play.
Doc, can you talk about the previous regime before the trade with the team that you have now? Did you ever see yourself being at this level in accomplishment, and how, you know, as far as your coaching, do you feel that you had to coach differently or even more intensity or better or what?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I just want to win, so I don't look at it a lot different. You know, you always are changing with what players you have. Like you have to. Everybody's not the same. You don't treat everybody the same. This whole fallacy or whatever that everybody gets treated the same. It's not true. You know, but each year you have to try to figure out your group, how you want to treat the group, and then how you want to treat the individuals, and then you assess and you coach from there. You know, and that's what I try to do. And every year, this team can come back exactly the same next year, and they're different people. You know, and so you have to change to that. You always do. You have to adapt. You do.
In both victories against the Rockets this season, you guys won both in points to the paint and rebounding.
Yeah.
How much do you see Zubac's kind of raising the ceiling for that? And
I hope he's a big factor in that. You know, that is one of the ways. You cannot lose the rebounding game against them. They're already, you know, what they are, and but you can create some size matchups, and that's an important stat in that game. And the paint is important as well.
Do you like that matchup with Capella for Zoop?
I don't know yet because I haven't seen it. So, but I'll have that answer after the game. That's for sure. You know, Capella's a heck of a player. You know, he really is. You know, and he has phenomenal hands. And so, you know, he's another guy on their team. To me, sometimes with the greatness of Harden, some of those guys get lost, and he may be one of them.
Is it hard to game plan for a team that doesn't have any regard for the mid-range at all on the offensive side of the ball?
No, not really. But you know, your goal is to try to make them do that, even though you know they're not. You know, but you know, one thing that's for sure: if you can take them off the three a little bit, it affects them. So we try. All right, guys. Thank you.